Hi friends, welcome back or to the channel. Had some shit weather the last couple of days, but it's beautiful this morning. Took the day off work because it's my birthday and I'm not really doing anything today, but we did get some parts. Not necessarily the parts I wanted to show up. I don't know, they got lost in the mail, I guess, but the parts I did get are pretty fancy. I'll tell you what, for somebody that hates shiny shit on motors, I sure bought a lot of it for this tow truck. I'm going to say just because it was cheap. And if you haven't already noticed, I keep referring to this as race car stuff because of the yellow plug wires and the chrome air filter and all that shit. It's all race car, right? So, may as well go just continue the trend, you know. Pretty shiny rad. Gonna have pretty shiny valve covers. I guess, you know, whatever. These are polished aluminum though, they're not chrome. And they're actually pretty nice, considering they're cheapo eBay specials, you know. They're pretty nice though. They came with Allen head bolts because they're gonna look nicer, and I don't think the factory bolts are going to fit down in here, and I know a socket's not going to fit in there. So let's get these changed out and have a look-see, yeah? So let's grab ratchet, this short guy here. That might be 7/16. We'll try that one. Let's just go ahead and do it. And I don't know if you guys are weird like me, but flat washers are absolutely directional. One edge has a nice rounded corner, or one side I mean. The other side has a sharp edge on it. A nice rounded corner always faces the head of the bolt. Now you guys remember when I hooked all this stuff up, I told you these valve covers were temporary. So I didn't lie. Just took me a little longer than it should have to buy the new here. But I haven't really worked on this thing a lot lately because I've been kind of pulling my hair out with the hearse over there. It's just been one thing after another since it overheated, and I'm still not done with it, but that obviously takes priority over this because this is a toy, and that she prefers to daily drive that. So that took priority for now. But I'm waiting on, but I have to go into town today, and I'm going to price out a radiator for it, and I'm hoping that that's going to be the last of the problems I have with that damn thing, because we're super close to driving this deal. I don't have power steering yet, but realistically I need to just run this over to a battery, put a throttle linkage in it, and drop a fuel jug pretty much anywhere. Probably just tie it in right here or something, and then this deal should be ready to drive. So let's get these valve covers swapped out and go from there, I guess. Okay. Got my little waddle. And now, oh, that's the wrong direction. Forgot to turn that ratchet off last time I was done using it. Good thing it still has battery in it. And uno más. Ladder's trying to kill me today, guys. Okay. Now, ow. Get myself back out of there because I smashed up against the edge of the rad there. Let's see. Okay. New hotness coming in. Shoo. Damn, that looks nice. Oh. Me and this ladder, we're just not friends today. Sometimes it stays exactly where it needs to, and then there's days like today. What the hell? Oh. Hold on. I just dropped a bolt. I'll be right back. I got one in, but I'm going to have to take some of these bolts with me when I go into Price and find some longer ones, because the flange on these valve covers is so much thicker than the stock one. These bolts are just not long enough. So I'm still going to finish the basic insulation, but I can't actually finish this deal until I get the right bolts. Let's get that out of the picture. Don't stand too close to it, because the sun hits that polished aluminum and it's blinding. Damn, it looks good though. Another thing I need to replace is this pile of shit thermostat housing, because I thought it was going to be easier if I bought one of those O-ring ceiling housings, but no. I bought the O-ring housing because I thought I didn't want to have to silicone the housing, because I hate dealing with it, but the O-ring didn't seal. This whole little unit right here, where that plug is, that is supposed to drop down to the water pump, but it obviously doesn't. This is outside of the clamping surface, and it's been leaking antifreeze. I don't know if you guys can see it down in there. There's antifreeze down there that's making its way clear to the ground. It's going here and running down the edge of the timing chain cover and just dripping right off the edge of my oil pan gasket. So got another one of those on order from the parts store too. So the moral of the story is, eBay stuff is awesome about 60% of the time, because the intake is eBay sealed up perfect. But don't ever trust the bolts that they send you, because even when I bought the headers for my LS, the bolts they sent with those weren't even close. They weren't even in the same neighborhood as the thread pitch I needed. So this is not the first strike with eBay bolts. So I did order the thermostat housing from CarQuest. It should be here today, so I'll go down and pick that up. Maybe, I think he might have told me Saturday. It's not going to be here today. Either way, we're getting close on this deal. I'm hoping to have my key switch in the mail today when I go check it, and that'll put us one step closer. Then I still have to figure out all of this wiring, because none of this stuff is hooked up. I have no electrical going to the engine at all. That's going to do it for now. Like I said, I have to go down and check the mail, and I got to run to Price and get some longer bolts. These have to be about, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch longer maybe. So I got to grab a bunch of those. 12 to be exact, but I'll grab 15 because, you know, I'm probably going to lose one or two putting it together. But if you didn't know any better, you'd almost think that, you know, this was all intentional. I mean, it looks a lot better than it runs, and that's, whoa, and that's pretty not bad. I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's coming along. I do need to get some different air, like a different oil cap and a PCV valve for that one. because the factory ones aren't going to work, I don't think. If they are, I mean, I know the oil fill cap isn't going to work because it has those weird little ears that come off the sides of it. And those are what lock it down. So I can't just cut those off and shove it in there because then it's just going to sit in there and rattle and, push out, and we can't have that. But the other side, the actual PCV valve, I don't know how old it was, but based on the condition of the rest of this engine when I pulled it apart, I'm just going to say it needs to be replaced. So I'm going to get my calipers out, and I'm going to measure me an OD, or an ID, on this hole right here. And then when I'm at the parts store, I'll make sure that I get the correct size. But I do now have 12 really nice stainless Allen head bolts to put somewhere. So we'll bring them back here and throw them in the bolt bin and use them for something else, I guess. And we're back from going to town. Got some bolties. And while I was there, also picked me up some copper line for my oil pressure gauge, because I don't know if you guys have ever used the plastic line that comes with those oil gauges, but I've never had good luck with them. Like, for quicksies, just to fire up the engine or whatever, check it for pressure, sure. But for long-term use, I've had 3 or 4 of those things come apart on me, so I won't use them anymore. All I run now is copper. Now, we gotta go through, switch all of these bolts out, because these stock ones just ain't gonna do it. But see the difference in length there? Should be plenty to hold it down. Things have escalated a bit. Just a little bit. I have a hole over here that isn't catching a thread very well, so I'm just going to run a tap down through it just to clean it up a little bit. See if I can, anyway. Because no matter how hard I tried, I could not get this bolt to pull the thread. I don't understand why, but something was in there just stopping it. Me and my Widow Adder are at war today. Every time I come up towards the top of it and I lean over the engine bay, it decides it wants to slide out from underneath me, and it's terrifying. I always end up smashing my stomach and all kinds of bad shit. So this is stupid. So the regular bolts are not going to work. There's not enough room between the bolt and the valve cover to put a socket in here. So I struck out again. I'm gonna have to make another trip to Price. I'm going in there tomorrow anyway. I'm gonna have to stop somewhere and get some Allen head bolts to put in these damn valve covers. I hate it here. We've moved on. Ready to get this sensor out of here. So we're moving on to the oil pressure gauge. Maybe. There really isn't like any room to get a socket in here. Had to just kind of smash it in there. But that's okay. Just me and this ladder that wants to kill me. Against the world today, I guess. Get that out of the way. Put a new one in there with some thread pasty. that. Get out of my way. Stupid fuel line. Oh, turn your ratchet the right way. We just have to pick the route. We're going to run this. I got to find a good hole somewhere in the firewall to feed it through. I could go up there, but I don't really want to go across, over, up, in, back, down, you know what I mean? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come out of the fitting, over to the frame, kind of up against the inner fender here, and just follow this factory wiring. It's pretty easy to bend. It's pretty soft, obviously because it's copper. So be careful with it. I'm going to go out about that far. Straighten up my end a little bit more. Put your threaded nut on there. And then your ferrule. The arrow section of it always points towards the end of the line. But remember, it's not tight on there, so the chances of you losing it are pretty damn good. So don't point your line downhill. Wish I had some of those line wrench, that are ratcheting wrenches. Have you guys seen those? Wish I had a set of those, or knew where I could find a set of those, because I'd buy the shit out of it. I've only ever seen them on other people's YouTube videos. Never actually seen them in person. But as soon as I do, best believe I'm going to buy me a set. Because this shit is BANANAS. So I know I said I was going to come out and follow this wiring and go in right there, but now I'm starting to think that it might be wise to just make the turn here and come up, follow the belly of this, or where the intake meets the head right here, go around my throttle linkage, up the firewall, and into that hole right there, because that hole is easily accessible here because I don't have my glove box, and you can see it right back in there. Right, well, take my word, it's right there against the firewall. So I'll bring it out right there, come up above the ducting here, make a turn, and come out the stereo hole, and I'll just mount my oil pressure gauge to my bezel right here. Should be fine. If I ever have to take it apart, it's already cracked right here, so I don't have to take the oil on off the back of the gauge. It'll work just fine. Yeah. It'll work fine. So let's get to routing, shall we? Couldn't have planned that better, boys. That gives me just enough for the mount. What can I say? When you're good, you're good. I planned that to perfection, just so you know. Okay, now we gotta mount this little guy with these two little guys. So, stupid thing caught my jacket. Oh, there it went. Okay. Angled just a little shit. I didn't think that through. I gotta move it. Yeah, that'll work. Just like that. Damn it, I pulled the screw through that one. That's fine. Now, get our line out here. This deal has to go behind it. That. Oh, damn it, I forgot the other piece. Now, remember this goes in the back. Then your nut goes on first. Then your ferrule goes on. Arrow pointing to the oil gauge. And the wires. Just tighten this boy up. And these connections here don't require any lubrication or nothing, because that little ferrule in there, little triangle piece, seals it. And trust me, if you don't get this tight enough, you're gonna know. I'm not worrying about hooking up the lights right now, because until I get my key switch, nothing inside this cab works anyway. So, I gotta take this down. Gotta get that damn that barrel thing all the way back out of there again. Hopefully there's no mice living in this dashboard, because I'm all up in it. One of them going to jump out and bite me. Catch your ass whooping is what they're going to do. Jump out and bite me, I'll smack the shit out of something. And just like that, boys, we have an oil pressure gauge that we can see while we're driving. Like I said, I'm going to come back when I get the key switch and I can actually troubleshoot all of the wiring that's cut and split and shit behind this dashboard. Then I'll worry about putting power to that backlight. But as far as I know for now, the chances of this truck being driven at night are not very good anyway. So, you know, whatever. But I always have a flashlight on me, so if I needed to look at oil pressure in the dark, the dome lights work, and I have a flashlight. But I do need to figure out where the power is for these, because I want the beacon to work up on the top of the truck. That's one of my priorities. So, now let's go back under the hood, and I'll show you how we're going to protect that line where it rubs places. Now what we're working on is everywhere that this line could possibly rub something, like right here, there's a molding on the head, and it's going to rub there. Right here on the corner of the intake, right there on that deal, probably one back there, but that's pretty much it. So what we're going to do, and there's a million different ways you can do this, but I've got this old vacuum line. It's like it's kind of brittle, so it doesn't bend well, and I can't use it for actually vacuum. But what I can use it for cut a piece of it off, and we'll try to get it split without cutting our damn fingers. There's really no easy way to do this here, guys. Got it split. Come on. Let me grab a little screwdriver. Okay, have our split. See, it's all the way through. Top clear to the bottom is split, right? Now, get back on my Widow Waddle, and we'll take, yeah, I forgot the water pump was magnetic. There we go. Now we'll just take this little piece that I split here, and we'll feed it, put our screwdriver back in there. I'm not sure why I pulled that out, but Frank's having a blast out there. Can you hear him? push it in to the split. Maybe. Ooh, I swear this ladder's trying to kill me. I have a protector, but we're going to take some of this here. You can do this with zip ties too. On a shop truck, everywhere that an airline could possibly have made contact anywhere, I did this same trick, and I just used zip ties, and it worked out slicker than snot. So I do check them every once in a while just to make sure that they're still, you know, not moving, not rubbing, not chafing, not nothing like that. I'm going to change the hose. I don't like this stuff. It's too, the inner diameter is too big, so it's moving around a bunch. So I've got some smaller vacuum hose that I use for my vacuum advance. I'm going to change it to that, but you get the basic understanding. There we go. That looks much better. That hose is the right size. It's got zip ties to hold it together now. Much better. I do have, in my garage, I have some P-clamps. And when I get the correct bolt for this, I'm going to stick a P-clamp around that and I'll eliminate that zip tie. So this piece of hose will be stuck in a P-clamp and it'll just hold the line right there. That'll be perfect. That's going to be a wrap for today, guys. Didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but I spent a lot of time in town just kind of screwing off and jaw-jacking and running around and stuff. So, and I still have to go to town tomorrow to get bolts. And, well, I'm going to town to transport a vehicle for a friend, but while I'm in town, I'm going to grab the right bolts for the valve covers. Yeah, if you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything. Click the bell if you want to get notified every time I drop a video. They're not all bangers. Sometimes it's just stupid shit like this. Sometimes it's big stuff, you know, like a bunch of action in one video. So, you know, balance. Thanks, guys, for showing up. Appreciate you. Remember, guys, your dreams aren't going to work unless you do. So even if you're just doing one or two stupid little things at a time, keep making progress on those projects, and eventually I'll see you at the show.